Hello everyone, my name's Radio Mike, this is the Inside of My Mind, and well, okay, I am just beyond excited to already start talking about episode 2 of the Digimon Adventure 2020 reboot. I've just watched it on Crunchyroll. I came straight to here to put all my thoughts to the camera, and thank you so much to everyone who watched my first video, which you can go and watch now. I decided because of the response to that, and everyone seemed to really like it, I'm just going to do a review or a discussion on every episode the day it airs, which I hope you can stick around for. Speaking of that, if you could subscribe to my channel if you want more videos like these, that would really help me out. Most people who watch these are not subscribed. Like I said, I'm going to do a video on Digimon every week talking about the latest episode, and I also do all things pop culture, music, movies, games, TV shows. If you want videos on those sorts of topics, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. But now, without further ado, let's talk about how amazing episode 2 was. Okay, so already we found in episode 1 that this reboot is not a one-to-one remake of the original Digimon Adventure. It's pretty much like an alternate universe, a reboot entirely of the franchise. We are no longer doing this sort of, you know, the kids get sucked into the digital world and it's sort of like Lost. They're stuck on this island and they don't know how to get home and they meet the Digimon. It's not like that. Now we are basically seeming to take the Our War Game movie, a lot of inspiration from the Our War Game movie, and even more so in this episode, which was a movie in which the Digidestined have to go into the internet to fight a bad guy who is basically trying to destroy the world and launch nuclear missiles. This is very heavily influenced by that so far, and the episode is actually titled War Game, which really rings true to that theory. And similarly in that movie, Our War Game, it was Izzy, and by the way, I'm still going to use the Western names for the characters because that's what I'm more familiar and comfortable with. So Izzy was outside in the real world looking into the internet while Tai and Matt were inside fighting the enemy, and Izzy was giving them orders. Very similar in this as well. At the end of the last episode, we saw Matt appear already with Garurumon, meaning his Digimon had already digivolved, which is pretty interesting because in most of the anime series so far, it is always the main goggled character, whether that be Tai, Davis, Takado, Takuya, Marcus, whoever it is always their Digimon to digivolve first, and it's usually the dinosaur-ish kind of Digimon. Whereas in this one, Matt's Digimon has already digivolved, and it looks as though Matt has already been in this network with Garurumon and Gabumon for some time. He's already got experience in the world, and both Tai and Matt seem really shocked to see each other, which was really interesting. Matt perhaps hasn't encountered any other humans in this world. We definitely get strong vibes that Matt's sort of lone wolf characteristics are here to stay and maybe even more amplified in this. Matt, in the original series, was a very loner-ish kind of character, very sort of shy and reserved but headstrong, and really believed in his own way and didn't need anyone else to help him or come along for the ride. He was just happy to go his way. Whereas Tai was always this more happy-go-lucky, everyone help each other, everyone work together, natural leader. Whereas Matt was always this sort of different kind of leader in that he thought he was the one who was responsible for everyone else and should sort of take responsibility for things and do it his own way by himself without endangering anyone else. Tai tries to rally everyone else to fight with him. In this, you really start to see those personality clashes coming to light. But what I liked in the original Digimon Adventure is after, you know, spending so much time together and getting to know each other, Tai and Matt's different personalities really started to work together. And they finally started to, I guess, negotiate on how they would approach situations so they could get the best out of each other, which to me is why in Our War Game they were finally able to reach Omnymon as a final DNA evolution of their two Digimon. We see Matt and Garurumon still fending off these mysterious Digimon within the network or the internet, and Tai and Greymon are trying to participate and help as well. They're fighting together while Izzy is still on the real world giving them instructions. This enemy Digimon continues to digivolve into stronger and stronger forms, meaning that the gang do have to work together, but Matt comes up with a tactic for himself to divert all of the smaller Digimon away from the main stronger Digimon so Tai's Greymon can attack it directly, which doesn't particularly work to plan. The evil Digimon has basically infiltrated military systems and has launched a missile out of a nuclear submarine that is targeted directly for Tokyo, which is very, very, very bad for everyone involved. And Koshiro Izzy says that if the missile hits Tokyo, it will pretty much kill everybody. So Matt and Tai are really under the pump inside the internet to kill this Digimon. What I really liked is seeing Matt sort of decide to work with Tai and for them to work together. And there's this point where the Digimon digivolves again, and Matt and Tai are sort of like, oh, like Matt says to Tai, we couldn't beat it. What do you think we can do instead? Like Matt almost gives up thinking, well, we can't do it. Whereas Tai says, if we work together, we can defeat it. If we work together, we can defeat this Digimon together. And Matt sort of agrees with him, and they fist bump with their Digivices in their hand, which was a really cool moment. There was a point where both Greymon and Garurumon were attacking the Digimon, like biting it from both sides and then using their fire attacks on it. And the Digivices both start to glow with the crest. And I did think at that moment, wow, are we getting ultimate forms? Are we going to get Metal Greymon and Garurumon at this point very early in the series? Because that would be really cool, but also very, very unprecedented in the series. But we didn't get that. But we did get something else, which I will get to later, that you all already know, obviously. I'm really enjoying how we're getting really focused on Tai and Matt. I do think they were the strongest characters in the original series. I also really like Joe. I really hope we can see a lot of Joe in this in the future, but I'm happy for them to start off with a lot of Tai and Matt working together, because they were the core of that original series. They were the two really central characters, and a lot of the core conflicts happened around them. So really good to give them some development, but I would really like to start seeing and being introduced to Sora and Mimi and Joe. And we've obviously seen TK and Kari, Takeru and Hikari, but we haven't seen them in action yet, only sort of in their homes or Kari with her mum. However, in this episode, we do see both Takeru and Hikari. I don't know why I'm just switching between the Japanese and English names. I think I'm really excited. That's probably why I'm doing that. But feathers fall from the sky into their hands, and I think we're all on the same page that the feathers do tend to represent the angel Digimon, so they would probably represent Angemon and Angewomon respectively. So it is likely that we may be seeing them sometime soon, which does put to bed the theory that I thought Kari might not join the gang until a lot later, like she did in the original series. It seems like she might be one of the main characters in this series from the get-go. By the end of the episode, the evil Digimon has used a massive attack, and the submarine missile has been launched and is aiming for Tokyo. Koshiro is very, very scared. Tai and Matt are very, very scared. However, you then see out of an egg comes a brand new Digimon that Greymon and Garurumon have shaped into, which is Omnymon. Now, I want to just make a point here that the animation and seeing these characters in HD animated so well and so true to the original while being such stronger fidelity and higher definition looks amazing. Omnimon was no different. I was so surprised to see him, but given that we're working with a lot of how our war game ran, it kind of makes sense that we saw him, but it's so early to see like a mega level Digimon at this point. But I also love that if we're seeing Omnimon now, I really think that opens the door for us to see new evolutions and branched evolutions and other evolutions of the Destined Digimon in this series, and I really hope that happens. I would love to see more branched evolutions, such as Geo Greymon and Rise Greymon and Shine Greymon from Digimon Savers. The crests are still at work here. We see signs of the Crest of Hope and the Crest of Light when TK and Kari grab the feathers. We see the crests of Courage and Friendship glow. It's just such a nostalgic trip so far, and I am enjoying it so much. I'm glued to the television screen, and I'm just like, there is so much intensity. And it's interesting that I feel like Digimon Adventure, the original, in the way it worked, was quite slow. Like it was, you know, half the episode was them, you know, exploring the island and trying to find out where they are and trying to solve problems like that. And then the other half would be a battle, whereas this is sort of go, all battle, all fighting. You know, Izzy's giving directions on the outside, whereas those two are inside, and it's all fighting, all action-packed sequences with a little bit of dialogue in between. And I really like the fast-paced nature of it and how, I don't know, how adrenaline pumping it is. Like, you're constantly like amazed by the battle scenes and what's going on, and you feel for the characters. You're really aware of the threat, and the fast-paced nature of the episode really helps drive that along. I did think maybe towards the end we'd see like Bergermon fly in with Sora to save the day. That's sort of where I saw it going. Obviously we didn't get that, but I really hope that we see some more Digimon soon, as I said. I did have some questions in the comments of my last video, which I'd like to just answer. Well, I might, if you have any questions, leave them below and I'll answer on the next video. These questions came from Kazooie7. If that is named after Banjo-Kazooie, that's awesome. I love that game. And they ask, who do you think will be the big bad, and how dark do you think this series will be? And I really don't know at this point. It could be totally different. I would really love to see the Dark Masters return. I think that both Piedmon and Puppetmon were really great villains, very creepy, very weird, and I really love that. So I'd love for them to be eventually there, but I wonder how Matt is going to pan out in this. I would love for them to explore more the dark side of Matt as a character, which they touched on a little bit in the original series, but I would love for Matt to take that real loner approach and that real lone wolf approach and be over here, not necessarily as a villain, but as a foil, or as, like, I actually quite liked the loner aspect of Ken after the Digimon Emperor was destroyed in 02, and Ken was sort of destroying Dark Spires, but he didn't want to associate with the other kids. I really like that kind of idea of Matt being this guy who goes at it alone and maybe gets into conflict with them, but he's not necessarily a villain. As for how dark it'll go, I think we might get a bit of a darker series here, because there's already signs of like real threat to real human life, which is obviously a really big deal. So I hope we get a few higher stakes and bigger deals in this, and much darker subject matter, sort of on the Tamers side of things, because I know people really like that series a lot. That's what I'd really want. Let me know what you think down in the comments. And one more thing I just wanted to share is some stuff. I talked last week about my visits to Japan and how I saw a lot of the locations in the Digimon Adventure series. Here's a picture of me at the Tokyo Big Site, specifically at the Big Saw, which you can see Togemon and Dark Tyrannomon fighting near in one of the later Digimon Adventure episodes. I really love this, and I'd love to talk more about the Digimon stuff I went and saw while I was in Japan. I've got a picture of the Tokyo Tower right here that I took. That's not the Eiffel Tower, it is the Tokyo Tower, which looks a lot like the Eiffel Tower. And that was awesome as well, and that does feature as well where Sora and Mimi go to the Tokyo Tower to fight Metal Miramon. So I've done a lot of that stuff, and I'd love, if you want to hear more about that, let me know. Please subscribe to my channel if you like this. Check out some of my other videos. I'm going to do one of these every week, so I really appreciate it. I'm so excited for this series. I genuinely am hooked, and I can't wait till next week to watch the next step. Give this a thumbs up, leave a comment, subscribe. Check out my podcast, 20th Century Boy. I've talked about Digimon. I talk about all kinds of pop culture stuff and stuff that I grew up on, being a kid born in 1994 and growing up sort of in the turn of the century. Bunch of stuff I do in my daily life as a radio and podcast producer here in Melbourne, Australia. Other than that, I have a band called Release the Sounds. I'll put a music video on the screen here. We're a comedy punk band. Our first song is about a guy who falls in love with a puppet. Go and check that video out on YouTube or on Spotify and Apple Music or wherever you listen to music. I'd love for you to support the band or support my channel however you can. Thank you so much for watching this. My name's been Radio Mike. This has been The Inside of My Mind. See you next week or in another one of my videos. Have a great day.
I hold you close the moment last I touch your skin, but I went to run my hand through your hair and I noticed you were attached to string. You were a puppet this whole time, you were attached to string. You were a puppet this whole time.